Let's talk about the modern parent's greatest battle, prying our kids away from those glowing rectangles. You're not a bad parent if your child is obsessed with screens, but you will be a brilliant one when you learn how to manage it. In this video, we're breaking down 8 powerful, practical tips to win the screen war without all the yelling and tantrums. And tip number 6 is a secret weapon I use daily that completely changes the game. You won't want to miss this. First up, we have tip number 1, the screen time schedule. Flying by the seat of your pants and just yelling "time's up" is a recipe for a meltdown. Kids thrive on predictability. So sit down with them and create a visual schedule. It can be a simple chart on the fridge, first homework, then 30 minutes of tablet. Or screen time from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. This isn't you being the boss, it's you being the manager. It sets clear, non-negotiable boundaries, and when they know what to expect, the transition away from the screen is 1,000 times easier. It removes you from being the bad guy and points to the schedule as the authority. Now let's talk about tip number 2, create screen-free zones. This is about controlling the environment, not just the child. Designate specific areas in your house where screens simply are not allowed. The dinner table is the most important one. The car is another great one. And definitely the bedroom, keeping screens out of there is crucial for their sleep. By creating these physical boundaries, you're automatically building in chunks of the day that are dedicated to conversation, family connection, or just quiet time. It forces a natural break without you having to constantly fight about it. And here's that secret weapon I promised, tip number 3. The what comes next strategy. The biggest reason for screen time tantrums is the dreaded void. You're taking away their entire world and you're leaving them with nothing. So you have to bridge that gap. Always, and I mean always, have a fun activity lined up for immediately after screen time ends. Don't just say "time's up." Say, "All right, your 30 minutes is almost up. When the timer goes off, we're going to build an epic fort in the living room." Or, "Then we're going to the park to kick the soccer ball." You are replacing the screen with something more appealing. This redirects their focus from what they're losing to the exciting thing they're about to gain, and it makes the transition smooth and even happy. These are the most basic tricks, but the next 3 strategies are all about being proactive and a little bit clever. Tip number 6, in particular, is something most parents never think to do, but it's a total game changer for their child's relationship with screens. Let's dive into tip number 4, the boredom box. A huge reason kids gravitate to screens is because they're bored, and it's the easiest option. So let's make other options just as easy. Create a boredom box, a bin, filled with non-screen activities that are ready to go. Stock it with Legos, puzzles, art supplies, Play-Doh, or cool books. The key is to keep it special. Only bring it out when screen time is over. When your child says, "I'm bored," you can point them to the box of fun instead of the tablet. It eliminates the negotiation and gives them an immediate, engaging alternative that sparks their creativity instead of just zoning them out. Now for tip number 5, get their buy-in with a timer. This is about giving them a sense of control. Instead of you being the timekeeper who always says no, put the power in their hands, or rather, in a timer's hands. Use a visual kitchen timer or the one on your phone. Before they start their screen time, show them the timer and set it together. Say, "Okay, the timer is set for 30 minutes. When it goes off, it's time to turn it off." This makes the timer the bad guy, not you. When it beeps, you can simply say, "Oh, listen, the timer says time's up." This externalizes the rule and reduces the direct conflict between you and your child, making them more likely to comply without a fight. And here's that game changer. I mentioned tip number 6, watch and play with them. I know, your first instinct is to get away while they're quiet, but hear me out. Spending just 15 minutes genuinely engaged in their screen world works wonders. Ask them to show you their favorite game, or watch an episode of their weird cartoon with them. Ask questions. Why do you like this character? How do you beat this level? This does two powerful things. First, it transforms the screen from an isolating activity into a potential bonding one. Second, it demystifies it. Once you're in their world, you can naturally guide them out of it by saying, "That was cool. Now, let's go try to build that Minecraft castle with real blocks." You become a partner, not an enforcer. So let's get into tip number 7, the Earn Your Time system. We want to teach our kids that screen time is a privilege, not a right. A fantastic way to do this is to link it to positive non-screen activities. Create a simple chart where they can earn their minutes. For example, 15 minutes of reading earns 10 minutes of screen time. Helping set the table earns 5 minutes. Playing outside for 30 minutes earns 15. This completely flips the script. Instead of you taking something away, they are actively building their fun time through positive actions. It encourages other good habits and makes them think twice about wasting their hard-earned minutes on a silly video. It puts them in the driver's seat of their own choices. And now for our final tip, tip number 8, the 1-hour wind down. This is crucial, especially for the evenings. Screens emit a blue light that tricks our brains into thinking it's daytime, totally messing up sleep hormones. So establish a firm rule. All screens get turned in 1 full hour before bedtime. And I mean all of them: phones, tablets, the TV. This hour becomes sacred wind down time. Fill it with calm activities like reading a physical book together, taking a bath, listening to quiet music, or just talking about your day. This does more than just protect their sleep. It creates a peaceful, screen-free buffer that allows their brains to calm down and makes bedtime a much smoother process for everyone. It's a game changer for their mood and yours the next day. And just like that, we've made it through all 8 powerful tips to win the screen time war. You might be looking at this list thinking, "Whoa, Chaotic Daddy, that's a lot. I can't do all of this at once." And you know what? You're absolutely right. The secret isn't to implement all 8 tomorrow. The secret is to start with just 1. Pick the tip that resonated most with you. Maybe it's the boredom box or the 1-hour wind down, and just focus on that for a week. Master that single change. Small, consistent steps create massive, lasting change without the overwhelm. It's about teaching our kids balance and showing them that the best parts of life, imagination, connection, and plain old fun are waiting for them, just beyond the screen. You've got this. Now, I need you to do 2 things for me. First, which one tip are you committing to try first? Type, "I'm starting with tip number that" in the comments below. I read every single one. And second, if this video helped you, pay it. Forward share it with one other parent who needs a little less screen time chaos in their life. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell, because the next day we're tackling how to get your kids to actually do their chores without a million reminders. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Thanks for watching, Chaos Crew. Now go enjoy that screen-free time with your child.